My best friend stole my fiancé week before the wedding, and the ending shocked everyone. I still remember the day I met David. It was at a college party, loud music, flashing lights, the whole scene. I was a shy freshman, hiding in a corner, and he walked right up to me. He had this smile that could light up a room. From that moment on, we were inseparable. We navigated college together, celebrated graduations, and supported each other as we started our careers. He was my rock, my other half. And then there was Sarah, my best friend since kindergarten. We shared everything, secrets, clothes, dreams. She was the sister I never had. When I introduced her to David, I was so happy. My two favorite people, finally meeting. They got along instantly, and for a while, it felt like the perfect trio. We'd have movie nights, go on road trips, and I felt like the luckiest person in the world. After 5 years together, David proposed. It was on a beach at sunset, just like in the movies. He got down on one knee, and I cried so hard I could barely say yes. Of course, Sarah was the first person I called. She screamed with excitement and immediately declared herself my maid of honor. The next year was a whirlwind of wedding planning. We picked out the venue, a beautiful old barn in the countryside. I found my dream dress, a simple lace gown that made me feel like a princess. Sarah was there for every step. She helped me address invitations, taste cakes, and choose flower arrangements. She was more excited than anyone, or so I thought. Looking back, I should have seen the signs. The way she'd laugh a little too long at David's jokes. The way they'd sometimes have these inside jokes that I wasn't a part of. But I trusted them. I trusted them completely. The week before the wedding was pure chaos. Final fittings, last-minute vendor calls, family flying in. I was stressed, but also unbelievably happy. On Monday, 5 days before I was supposed to walk down the aisle, I came home from work exhausted. David wasn't there. I figured he was out with his friends for a last-minute bachelor thing. I called Sarah to vent about my stressful day, but she didn't pick up. I sent her a text. No reply. That was weird. Sarah always replied. I tried calling David again. Straight to voicemail. A knot of anxiety started to form in my stomach. I tried to push it down, telling myself I was just being a paranoid bride. I decided to take a bath to relax. As I was soaking, my phone buzzed. It was a text from a number I didn't recognize. My heart hammered against my ribs as I opened it. It was a picture. A picture of Sarah and David. Kissing. They were in what looked like a hotel room, smiling at the camera. Underneath the picture was a single sentence. We're sorry. We're in love. The world stopped. The air left my lungs. It felt like a physical blow. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think. I dropped my phone in the water. I didn't even care. I just sat there, frozen, as the water turned cold. This had to be a joke. A cruel, twisted prank. But deep down, I knew it was real. The little signs I had ignored for months suddenly flashed in my mind like a horror movie montage. The lingering glances, the private conversations, the sudden closeness. It all made sense now. The next few hours were a blur of tears and frantic phone calls. I called my mum, my voice breaking. She was on the next flight out. Then came the hardest part, calling the guests, the vendors, the venue. The wedding is off, I repeated over and over, my voice hollow and robotic. Each call was like another stab to the heart. My dream wedding, the future I had so carefully planned, was dissolving into nothing. I spent the next 2 days in bed, a zombie in my own home. The home I was supposed to share with David. His clothes were still in the closet, his toothbrush next to mine. Every little thing was a painful reminder. My mom and my other friends surrounded me, trying to coax me to eat, to talk. But I was numb. The betrayal was so profound. It felt like a part of me had died. It wasn't just losing my fiancé, it was losing my best friend, the person who I thought would be by my side forever. On what was supposed to be my wedding day, I woke up to the sun streaming through the window. For a second, I forgot. Then the crushing weight of reality hit me again. My mum came into my room. She was holding my wedding dress. I thought she was going to suggest we put it away, but instead, she said, "Get dressed. We're going out." I looked at her like she was crazy. But there was a look in her eye I hadn't seen in Des, a spark of defiance. So, I did it. I put on my beautiful lace gown. My friends did my hair and makeup just as we had planned. But instead of walking down the aisle towards David, my dad walked me to the car. We drove to the beautiful barn venue. I had paid for it in full, and I was going to use it. When we arrived, all my friends and family were there. Not for a wedding, but for me. The tables were set, the flowers were in their vases, and the band was playing. It wasn't a wedding reception. It was a celebration of survival. A celebration of me. We ate the fancy food, drank the expensive champagne, and danced the night away. I danced with my dad, my brothers, my friends. I even got up on stage and sang a terrible karaoke version of I Will Survive. I laughed. I laughed for the first time in a week. A real, genuine laugh that came from my soul. In that moment, surrounded by people who truly loved me, I realized something. David and Sarah hadn't stolen my future. They had just removed themselves from it. They had shown me their true colors before I made the biggest mistake of my life. Their betrayal was a gift, wrapped in the ugliest paper imaginable. Now, here comes the part that shocked everyone. About a month later, I got a call. It was Sarah. She was crying, barely able to speak. Hey. She told me that she and David had run off to Vegas, thinking it was this grand romantic gesture. But the fantasy quickly fell apart. They fought constantly. The guilt was eating them alive. He missed me. She missed me. It was all a terrible mistake. She begged for my forgiveness, said she wanted her best friend back. I listened to her, calmly. The old me would have been a wreck. But the woman who had danced in her wedding dress on the ruins of her old life was different. I was stronger. I let her finish. And then I said, "Sarah, I'm not angry anymore. I'm just done. I hope you find whatever it is you're looking for, but you won't find it with me or with him." And then I hung up. I didn't block her number. I just didn't need to. Her chapter in my life was closed. A few days after that, a large package arrived. It was from David. Inside was a long, rambling letter full of apologies and excuses. He said he was a fool, that he had thrown away the best thing in his life. At the bottom of the box, underneath layers of tissue paper, was his grandmother's engagement ring, the one he gave me on the beach. He wanted me to have it, to sell it, to do whatever I wanted with it. And I did. I sold the ring. And with the money, I booked a one-way ticket to Italy. I spent the next 6 months traveling, eating pasta, learning a new language, and meeting incredible people. I found myself again, not as someone's fiancé or someone's best friend, but just as me. I learned that I was whole all on my own. The ending that shocked everyone wasn't that they came crawling back. It was that I didn't take them back. It was that I built a life for myself that was more beautiful and more fulfilling than the one I had planned. My story isn't about a stolen fiancé. It's about finding my own happy ending, on my own terms. Sometimes, the worst thing that can happen to you turns out to be the best thing. Thank you for listening. Remember to subscribe for more stories.